The 2022 Hispanic Heritage Month theme is Unidos, Inclusivity for a Stronger Nation. The theme encourages us to ensure that all voices are represented and welcome to help build stronger communities and a stronger nation. Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th through October 15th.
And Not on Your Side is joining in on honoring the many contributions the Hispanic culture is making, from sports to business, education, and so much more. We're showcasing this colorful culture. Good afternoon. I'm Ken Watlington.
And I'm Angie Casada. Thank you so much for joining us. For more than 20 years, one local nonprofit aims at serving the community. The Association of Mexicans in North Carolina, commonly referred as AMexCan. Not on Your Side's Eddie Cabrera Blanco shares their community goals, all while developing the next generation of leaders.
We need to cultivate our own story. The stories so we can set a history behind the struggles, the opportunities, but also the greatest accomplishments the Latino community has made in Eastern North Carolina.
Juvencio Rocha Peralta, the executive director of AMexCan, looking ahead while reflecting on more than 2 decades of serving the Latino community in Eastern North Carolina. Since 2001, this nonprofit has continued to grow, now serving 16 counties.
We try to address issues across the board. Community now looks at AMexCan as the organization that will represent the interests, but also to be the voice of those communities that don't have no voice.
They're also building leaders within and outside of its organization, reaching students at East Carolina University.
In ECU, we do have a club. It's called AMexCan ECU. They were established by a group of students that came to AMexCan. The membership of the club at AMexCan ECU, it really is over 140 members.
One of those students, Francisco Solano. After graduating, he became AMexCan's Director of Educational Programs.
My main goal is to find a way to connect communities, community-based organizations, and academic institutions. So whether it be research-focused initiatives, be community outreach, or just involving the líderes futuros, so the leaders of the future, the youth.
And that's one of the goals Rocha Peralta instills in AMexCan.
Never forget where you come from. And that's the message that I have for the Latino community, for the children of my brothers and sisters. They're not to never be ashamed of who you are, be proud.
And he says his passion is also helping others, figuring out how AMexCan can help other Latinos face challenges just as he did when he migrated to the U.S.
I moved here from Mexico when I was 16 years old, by myself, not having any relatives living in the States, but one of the things that I always have passion to help others.
As for the future, Solano hopes more community members get involved.
Only a matter of time before, we start sharing these ideas of a larger community at whole. And we start involving more and more people so that it's not just one man's stream, but it ends up being a community streams that turn into community actions.
For Hispanic Heritage, I'm Eddie Cabrera Blanco, 9 on Your Side.
Thank you, Eddie. If you'd like to learn more about AMexCan and their community efforts, you can visit our website, WNCT.com. Sports, it's a global love language, especially soccer. And for one Indiana university, this language is reflected by players the team makes up. Sierra Truffs has more on their passion for the game.
Football for some, soccer for others, whatever you call it.
It's really unity, at the end of the day. I feel like it really brings us together and it creates more of a sense of family.
Evident by the number of international student athletes represented by 20 countries on the University of St. Francis men's soccer team.
ICAT brings all people together as any sport. It raises feelings, it raises passion, and it connects people one way or another.
Over half of the international student athletes on the team come from a Hispanic country.
It's a language within itself. It doesn't matter what accent we speak, as long as we can move the ball together,
On the pitch, the different cultures combined enhance the team's skills.
And you get to learn from every single person from every single country because they have a different idea.
And it's all because they have the same.
We all share the same passion. It's just natural. It's not because we are part of that team. It's because we all love to talk about soccer.
Soccer also means opportunity to further education, athleticism, and happiness.
You know, sometimes in Mexico it's pretty tough. The culture, the political state, it's not that easy. So soccer is just a way to life.
That was Sierra Tufts reporting. From sports to education, a teacher has a simple message. If I can do it, imagine what you can do.
Our Aaron Jenkins takes us inside Mr. Raul Oliveras' classroom with this message to the young minds he influences. The story coming up.
Hispanic Heritage Month starts in the middle of the month because the 15th marks the independence days of 5 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, Mexico, Chile, as well as Belize. They follow shortly after on 16th, 18th, and 21st.
And along those lines of informing, 9 on Your Side's Aaron Jenkins takes us inside a Beaufort County classroom and the teacher who's leading the way for Hispanics like him.
Where are you from?
For Mr. Raul Oliveras.
I'm Mexican American, so both of my parents were born in Mexico. My mom was 6. She moved to the United States. When my dad was 13 or 14, he moved to the United States.
He grew up across the country in California.
When I lived in California, because everyone around me looked like me, I didn't know that I could make a difference.
Now he's making a difference as a kindergarten teacher at Eastern Elementary in Beaufort County.
When I moved to North Carolina and I saw the underrepresentation of Hispanics, that's, I think, when it clicked for me. I need to make the difference. I need to be that voice. I need to be that advocate for our Hispanic population. So does it matter where you are from?
As one of the few Hispanic and male teachers in the district,
I was like the translator, like anybody that needed help with Spanish, I was their go-to. I started making connections with the families.
He's a role model, not only for students, but also for parents.
They remember that. I remember when I was in 5th grade and I spoke no English, like, it made me feel so comfortable. My mom was coming in and she was like, oh, I'm so glad you have them as a teacher.
Better known to his students as Mr. O, he's sharing his heritage.
I ask abuelo. You say abuelo? Abuelo. They found out that I spoke Spanish and they were like, you speak Spanish? Like, yes, I speak Spanish. So we kind of talk words in Spanish.
For Hispanic Heritage Month, Oliveras' class is reading books,
the hills, you've even got birds up in the sky,
and making piñatas.
Hearing the comments that some parents are messaging me like, I'm so glad you're doing this, because it's opening the kids up to have no judgment, to see no barriers, but rather than to truly be that melting pot that we are.
But it's more than just fun books and piñata making for Oliveras.
Getting the kids to realize people are people. It doesn't matter that I'm brown skin and you're light skin, because at the end of the day, you want people that are good around you. It doesn't matter what color they are. It matters how they treat you and how you're willing to treat those people.
He's showing young students like him as Hispanics, you can do anything.
You're not just meant to be working out in the fields, and that stigma that is associated with the Hispanic community, that they're just here to work. No, they're not just here to work. They're here to show others that things can be achieved, that things are possible.
You're gonna get some pieces that are green.
I talk to them and I say, like, you can achieve so much. Look at me. If I'm able to become a teacher, you can become whatever it is that you want to become.
For Hispanic Heritage, I'm Aaron Jenkins.
And now we head to Texas. A Brownsville educator is making it her life's mission to provide opportunities for the Hispanic community. Dr. Julieta Garcia sits down with Pauline Fitzgerald for a closer look at her story of inspiration and influence.
I was a kind of teacher at heart. I would teach the kids at home, right, in the neighborhood. And
they say it's a calling. For Julieta Garcia, it was natural. It wasn't work. It was what she loves to do. By the time she was 30, she earned her doctoral degree and was teaching at Texas Southern College.
Don't waste those gifts.
She became the academic dean at the community college for about 5 years, and then the first female Hispanic president of any American college and university. From there, building a relationship between the college and the University of Texas at Brownsville, now known as UTRGV's Brownsville campus.
We need a university here. We need For people that are not mobile, and that's the majority of our community, we need access here.
Garcia, with the help of her colleagues, built the university campus from the ground up. Her efforts are well known here in the RGV, but the seeds she's planted and the opportunity she's given this time was noticed by our nation's president.
A trailblazer and a mentor.
She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in July.
But when you get something like this, and you can share it with a community where it should be shared.
Reporting in Brownsville, I'm Pauline Fitzgerald.
Still to come on 9 on Your Side's Hispanic Heritage Month special. A unique culture car club is making its way back to one California community.
This is the 2022 Hispanic Heritage Month national poster, Unidos, Inclusivity for a Stronger Nation. The poster reinforces the need that all perspectives are welcomed. Miss Irene Matos Chan created that poster stating, "I am biracial and I wanted to represent my Hispanic culture and the Hispanic countries."
And speaking of inclusivity, cruising has returned to the city of San Jose. For decades, drivers were banned from taking their lowriders out on city streets due to concerns over traffic and alleged gang activity.
But one city council member cited a different reason for the ban: racism. He fought to have it overturned and won. Camila Barco explains what makes cruising so important to this community.
It's a new beginning for the San Jose lowrider community as the last no cruising sign in the city came down.
It was really special, you know. It means a lot to me. This is a historic day for our city.
For the first time in almost 40 years, lowriders can drive low and slow through the streets of San Jose. Cruising, as it's known, is about the ride and not the destination. The phenomenon traces back to the late 1940s when Mexican-American culture and art took form in the display of decorative cars.
I've always heard of stories of people cruising down Story and King, you know, and they used to block off the streets and just have like whole block parties and stuff back in the day.
These vintage cars are often lowered to the ground, decked out with chrome-plated wheels and engines, and hydraulics that make them bounce a few feet off the ground. It's similar to the cars that Tim Carrasco and Elena Carmela Pardo own.
So this is a 68 El Camino Malibu. So I'm standing in front of my 1954 Chevy Bel Air.
But in the late 1970s, lowriders became targets of police. Lowriders say officers would often associate them with gang members. In 1986, San Jose enacted a ban on cruising. They cited concerns of traffic congestion, impeding the movement of emergency vehicles, criminal activity, and creating an environment of fear. However, San Jose Council member Raul Perales spearheaded an initiative to get the ban repealed. Now, with the ordinance repealed, the tradition will continue as family members pass down their cars.
Growing up, I've always had old cars around me. My dad's always had a lot of old cars.
Perales believes people can now see the lowrider community in a different light and learn about the Chicano culture.
And we're going to feel, you know, no pressure being able to cruise our cars, build our cars. I want them to know that it's not a crime, you know, to ride low and slow. Like, it's just a joyous time, you know, just like you would strolling around the block on your feet.
Reporting in San Jose, I'm Camila Barco.
Now, take a listen to this message.
Well, to me, it's like a family legacy. My whole entire family is like well immersed with music, and we've always done it. My dad was in Mariachi Oro too, so I had to follow in his footsteps.
The sounds and tunes of the mariachi, not only showcasing the talents of one group of Texas high school students, but sharing the deep roots of music in the Hispanic culture. What talent! That group of McAllen High School students are also state champions. They won the 2022 State Mariachi Finals.
And speaking of achievements, we are going to bring it back home to Greenville and share how one Hispanic-owned business is making an impact across the East. The story coming up after the break.
In the past 10 years, Latino-owned businesses, they have started at a faster rate than other groups. Startups have grown by 44%. There are an estimated 4.65 million Hispanic businesses in the U.S., making them the fastest growing segment of U.S. small businesses.
And here in eastern North Carolina, that is reflected with multiple businesses.
A platform for good. It's a phrase you might have heard associated with a group of restaurants in Greenville. That's because for the owner, the restaurants aren't just about feeding those hungry. It's also about helping those in need.
It's the breakfast rush at Harvey's in Greenville, and owner Jay Bastardo is taking it all in.
Man, I'm blessed, right?
Harvey's is one of 3 restaurants he owns.
You know, I come from dirt floors to now being interviewed about how much of an impact we're making in a community that is foreign to us. You know, so life is good.
But Jordanes Bastardo is a long way from his original home. He was born in the Dominican Republic.
In a little place called Villaverde, which also happens to me in Greenville. Yeah. So I think God was orchestrating something when he brought me here.
He, his wife, and their then 4-year-old son moved to Greenville in 2008. In 2012, he bought a food truck and started sharing the cuisine of his homeland with his new community.
Which we set out in the middle of the college crowd from 8:30 at night to 3:30 in the morning, and we were serving tacos.
The Villa Verde truck took off in popularity thanks in part to social media. Fast forward a few years and Jay took on another challenge, a physical Villa Verde location.
I am truly putting everything on the line for this project.
It paid off. Villa Verde opened in August of 2015 and quickly became a staple in Greenville. A second location followed in August 2019. Then in 2021, maybe his biggest challenge, taking over longtime Greenville staple Harvey's, the breakfast place.
My biggest concern is how does a kid from the Dominican Republic now cooks breakfast for people that have been eating in this place for 20, 30 years. Southern American, your diner experience, you know?
Hey, this is the place, the best place in town, the best breakfast in town.
That's Mary Sergio, known around Harvey's as Mary. The longtime employee had some simple advice for Jay when he took over.
She said, Jay, don't try to come and change anything. Give them what they've been eating forever. Because she's been doing it for 30 years. Man, it's been a success.
But success for Jay means something much more. It means giving back to the community that's given him so much.
If I'm blessed in the way that we've been blessed and don't figure out a way to put that back into the community, then why am I doing it?
He's helped feed law enforcement during hurricanes. During the pandemic, he opened his doors to feed first responders free of charge and put together a food drive to help struggling families.
When we say we're more than a restaurant, we're a platform for good, it's who we are. You know, it's not a thing that we try, it's not something that it became part of our business or the way we do business. It's who we are. That is what makes it exciting, that I can now give God, and man, I'm going to do it to the day I drop.
And Jay is now helping his homeland in the Dominican Republic after Hurricane Fiona caused major damage just a few weeks ago. How you can help in his efforts to rebuild, and for more on all the stories you've seen today, please visit our website at WNCT.com.
What a beautiful culture. Thank you so much for joining WNCT and celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month.